What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Since the end of the World Cup, I have not been able to stop thinking and talking about one specific team, and that is Cabo Verde. Now, we already know what it is that we love about this team. They're the underdogs. They held their own against powerhouses like Spain and Argentina, being such a small country. But what we're going to talk about in this video is what we can learn and what we can take from teams that are the underdogs, such as Cabo Verde's run here in this World Cup. So let's get into the video. Their leader, that is named Josimar Jose Evora Davis. Sorry, it's not Davis, it's Diaz. Or better known as Vozinha, which I am actively trying to collect for my new World Cup album. Like, guys, there's no way they made him more rare, right, as the tournament went on, because I just can't find him. I can't pack him in any of my stuff. Anyways, I'm sure you guys know that the international name Vozinha now at this point, like, he has gone out of this world viral at this point. So he was born in Cabo Verde. He is now 40 years old, so this might have been his final World Cup. He's been playing professionally since 2007. And a neat thing is I recall the moment that I was watching the game. We were watching the game. I was here with my girlfriend, and we were watching the Spain versus Cabo Verde game. It was the first game in Atlanta, so I was like hyped. I was going for Spain. I knew no idea who the hell Cabo Verde was. I was like, this is supposed to be an easy game. Like, who is Cabo Verde? All of a sudden, like, we hit the 70th minute, and Spain is struggling. And I'm telling my girlfriend, like, yo, this keeper is going off. Next thing you know, later on after that, we hear Vozinha everywhere. That's when he just starts going crazy with, he hits 1 million followers. Oh my God, Vozinha hit 2 million, 3 million. He's now at 10 million followers after his Spain game. And once we found out he's 40 years old, my girlfriend goes, look, you see, it's never ever too late. Do you know how long this man has to persevere and stay down and play professionally and just keep doing his thing to finally get his moment to shine at 40 years old? Like, that's not old, but it's like he was doing this for 40 years already. Like, well, not 40 years, because he didn't come out the womb saving kicks. Well, maybe he did. Vozinha can do anything. But anyways, he's been playing professionally since 2007. And currently, the last team that he has played for was GD Chavez in Portugal, which is a second division team. To put it for you in basketball terms, for you basketball heads, this helped me understand what kind of division he was playing. So think about second division in Portugal. Like, Portugal has their own professional league, right? So think of it as somebody playing in the G League and then going over there and holding their own in the NBA Finals against LeBron James, a dude who you don't even know who he is. Like, you have no clue, and it is on the biggest World Cup stage. That is what Vozinha and Cabo Verde did. I mean, not all the players come from second divisions, but that is just huge. That is huge. That is something that you can't even imagine. And now that the World Cup is over, their performance looks even better because Spain ended up being the world champion, and they gave the two finalists probably the best game that they ever had in the whole tournament. Like, I think Messi and Argentina were actually very stressed out in that Cabo Verde game, like more stressed out than they were in any other game. Maybe the Egypt game stressed them out a little bit more, but who knows? Because the Cabo Verde game, it was the first round, and they were probably like, dude, there's no way we're about to get eliminated to Cabo Verde in the first round of the World Cup. Like, what? And then against Spain, the first game, Spain ends up being the champions, right? And the first game is when you set the tone. Like, you're supposed to set the tone for your whole tournament. Spain could have just folded and been like, oh my God, like, we're such a disappointing team. Cabo Verde just held us to no goals. And who the hell are they? I think they have a population of like 600,000 people in the country. Like, Argentina was literally shaking in their tits. And as of today, in the making of this video, they just released what the goal of the tournament was. And it was the goal that Sidney Lopez Carabal or something like that. It was the goal that he hit to the top right corner, which was insane. Sidney Lopez Cabral is his name, and that's who we're going to talk about next. He's actually pretty young. I think he's 23 years old, and he worked his way up through lower leagues in Germany. He ended up signing with Benfica and began his career on the bench, and then he progressively just kept working his way up and became a starter in Benfica. Now in the World Cup, with that crazy goal that we talked about, he's gonna get a lot more attention, especially from him being such a young player. Next on the roster we'll talk about is the captain, Ryan Mendes. He was also a guy born in Cabo Verde, And in the beginning of his career, I don't know how old he was, but he was hired to replace Eden Hazard, which if you know a little bit of soccer, football. I live in the United States, but I should not be calling it soccer. It is football. I'm that annoying dude that just be correcting people left and right. I think I know football when I, in fact, fucking don't. I just think I do whenever the World Cup comes around. But anyways, Eden Hazard, I remember him because he was in a cover of a FIFA, I think, at one point. So Ryan Mendes was hired to replace him, but he had an ankle injury that year that was pretty severe. And then I think the year after that, when he came back, he hurt his ankle again, but it was a different ankle. And that changed things up for him. He never really took off as far as club football went, but he's the all-time leading scorer for Cabo Verde. So now they see him as like, he is their GOAT. And so he became a huge piece of that franchise years ago. One thing you can find in common with Vozinha, Ryan Mendes, and Sidney Lopez Cabral is that they have been underdogs forever. They kept fighting, and they earned their way. Sidney Lopez, he worked his way up through the lower leagues. Even though he's really young, he started on the bench and progressively worked his way up to become a starter. For Captain Ryan Mendes, he actually started up at a really high, and then life humbled him. He not only got hurt once, but then got hurt twice, a different ankle, which is something that I actually identify with because I hurt my shoulder twice. I had to have 2 surgeries in the span of like a year and a half or 2. I came back and then I re-injured it. And that is the worst feeling in the world. So I can imagine what he might have been feeling when he was literally put on a team to replace a guy with such caliber of Eden Hazard. And then you just kind of become a disappointment. And of course, Vozinha, our star, the world's star now. It took him a long time to showcase his skills like that. And the way he was playing out on that field, it looked like he's always been ready for this moment. He kept going and he kept performing. And even though he was at the lower division, he was ready for his chance. Cabo Verde had to realize first in the locker room before we all knew, they had to say to themselves, we got this. We're going to go out here and we're going to make these nations respect us. And then we all found out who the hell they were. So what can we learn about this? Circumstances do not set your ceiling. Perseverance does. What happens after does. So never underestimate what the so-called impossible is, because teams like this show us that absolutely nothing is impossible. If you really say that you want to do something, you can go out and do it. Because then again, like Miles Morales says, hey, there's a first time for everything, right? If you get that reference and you remember what part of the movie he says that shit, you're the GOAT. And another thing we can learn is that success isn't always fame or like being a superstar. It's having an impact and just living up to everything that you, the man or the woman in the mirror that you can be. Getting better every single day. Impacting whoever it is that you interact with or whatever job you're at, anything. That's success. And I hope you guys can take this lesson with you from Cabo Verde themselves. I didn't teach you shit. It was Cabo Verde that taught me this and gave me this idea for this video. So I hope you guys learned some valuable lessons and I love you guys. But before we go, please like the video if you liked the video and hit that subscribe button because I'd love to see you again in the next video. But I'll let you guys go. So, nos vemos.